Okay, we're going to begin the meeting of the Lake Bluff Architectural Board of Review. It's Tuesday, October 7th at 7 p.m. Our chairman, Bob Hunter, is absent. I'm Mike Croak, the building code supervisor. I'll open the meeting and we'll take roll and then elect a chairman pro tem. So the roll call, Member Stradiff? Here. Member Dahlman?
Here.
Member Kerouac?
Here.
Member Wicks?
Here.
And members Deegan, Cottrell, and Chair Hunter are absent. So would someone like to nominate?
I move to nominate Neil Dahlman as our temporary chairman. I was going to put a nice adjective in front of that, but I couldn't think of one.
And a second?
Second.
Okay. And we'll do a roll call vote. Member Wicks?
Present?
Here? Yes. Yeah,
oh, aye.
Aye. Member Kerouac?
Aye.
Member Dahlman?
Pass.
And Member Stradiff?
Aye.
Okay. You're elected by a vote of 3.
Thank you. Hope we can run a quick meeting and do it as well as Bob Hunter could do because he sets a high standard.
Yep.
Next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the September 2nd meeting. Any comments about those minutes? If not, could we have a motion to approve those minutes?
I move to approve the minutes of September 2nd.
Second.
Been moved and second to approve the minutes. All in favor, say aye.
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 Third item is visitors that have any public comments on non-agenda items. Does anybody care to speak? Well, that was quick.
And we have nobody online either on the Zoom at the moment.
Next item is a sign permit for the Toy Box car storage at 95 Albrecht. Anybody here regarding that issue?
I'd expected the applicant to connect by Zoom, but I don't see him on yet.
Want to go to something else?
Well, let's hold that item in case he comes on to Zoom and we'll discuss it at that time. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay, put that one over there. And the next item is a sign permit for Crucible Fitness at 421 Washington.
And same thing, I expected them to connect by Zoom and I don't see him on yet.
This might be a quick meeting tonight. Next item is design review for the proposed multifamily building at 570 Evanston. Introduce yourself, please.
I am Tom Dobbins. I'm the architect for the project. I happen to live in Lake Bluff as well at 403 Evanston Avenue.
Hi, Tom.
Okay, so Mike, do you have the slides?
Yeah.
Well, while Mike is pulling that up, the first slide you're going to see is, so this is the third time you've seen our project and myself, but I think it bears spending a second on just kind of historically refreshing your memory on what we've accomplished to date. So we have been in front of the PCZBA twice as a workshop. We have been in front of the PCZBA twice for their formal recommendation to the board. All of those were unanimous approvals to move forward. We have been in front of you all twice in a workshop environment. We had that kind of extra time in there to come back a second time because we knew the protocol is we can't come to you formally like we're doing tonight until the PCZBA had heard us twice and recommended to move it forward. And of course, we've been in front of the village board twice for the preliminary site plan approval, at which we got a unanimous approval both times for that. So we are doubling back to see you all, and then assuming things go well tonight, we'll be in front of the village board on Monday and hopefully the 27th. So that is kind of what's happened in the meantime. Mike, go ahead to the third slide, please. So what is new? The comprehensive plan is very new. And again, much of this presentation is from the PCZBA, so I'm going to go fairly quickly. But I think it's, since we're in front of you formally, I think some of it's worth repeating. But when we first started, so we've been involved in this project almost a year now, in 11 months, I think. And when we first started, we were uncertain whether Lake Bluff and the community would think what we had in mind was a good idea or not. Okay, and we said very unequivocally, if the village didn't support what we were planning to do, if the community at large did not support what we were planning to do, if the neighbors overwhelmingly did not support it, we would not have advanced it to the second meeting. But here we are. When we started, the comprehensive plan was different than it is now. The comprehensive plan is new, as you all know probably. It's formally approved by the PCZBA and the village board, and the comprehensive plan fully supports what we're planning to do. In fact, our plan is included in the comprehensive plan. So we feel much better about that than we did when we were started. There was some ambivalence related to some of the exhibits in the comprehensive plan as it existed a year ago, but there is no ambivalence now. The comprehensive plan fully supports what we were planning to do. There are some minor design changes. Frankly, most of these minor design changes you have seen already. They included Scranton Avenue facade. We simplified that. We scaled down the chimneys. We changed from brick to limestone, and we coordinated some exterior finishes, and we cleaned up some drafting errors that you guys pointed out at the last meeting. So what you see in front of you is substantially what you saw at the last workshop. We have done full civil engineering drawings. They're available to talk about and review, but I'm not sure that's the purvey of tonight. But I mentioned drainage in particular because there's a few kind of special aspects of the civil that I'd be happy to talk about, and probably will a little. Photometrics, you saw the photometrics last time we were here. They're identical. And there's a formal tree preservation plan that was done by the civil engineer too. Next slide, please. So this is exactly the same site plan you saw in the workshop. Nothing different about it, but I'd like to refresh your memory on kind of the overall planning concept because I think that's important. So the building on the left, of course, is where the bank property is. That's the Altoonian Whitmer project. That's drawn to scale. We thought it was important from a planning standpoint to generally align the north and south elevations. There was certainly a time when I think most people on the boards thought this would be developed as one big block. That is not being done now. There was certainly angst about 3 stories, but I'm not sure there was any angst in the past about one building. So we thought from a streetscape standpoint along Scranton Avenue, it would be important to kind of continue that facade down in the back as well. On the west side of our property, the east side of the Altoonian Whitmer building, we've got an identical setback of 11 feet, and we have a 20-foot setback along Evanston Avenue, which is kind of a standard front yard setback. Same as what you saw before. As I've said before, one of the things that works in our favor is from the property line to the edge of the sidewalk, there's about 5 or 6 feet. So these setbacks feel a little bigger than they actually are. Next slide, please. This is the site plan. You can see some of the trees. We'll come back to that, but the circles there, the trees we're preserving. And just to refresh your memory, this is a 4-unit condominium building. They all have front porches with front doors. They're shared front porches. The 2 porches along Scranton Avenue are vestibules that have an elevator and a stair that go down to the parking garage below and up to their unit on the 2nd floor. The 2nd floor, as you'll see in a slide coming up, there's a unit on the east and there's a unit on the west. The shared front porch along Evanston Avenue that you can see there, those are the entrances to the 1st floor condominiums, and that's subdivided, one on the north, one on the south. As you can see there, we've got a driveway along the northeast corner of the building that has a ramp going down. And as you'll see from the elevations, the ramp going down is 100% concealed behind the garage door. We'll talk a little more about that. Next slide, please. Okay, other than cleaning up some drafting errors, this is exactly what you saw in the workshop environment. At the last meeting, there were a couple things discussed, and we did consider those. We decided that we didn't think they were in the best interest of the project. One suggestion was maybe that front porch roof there, and this is the south, of course, along Scranton Avenue. The front porch, maybe it could have a flat roof or a standing seam roof. The standing seam roof just seemed to be a little cliche-ish. It just seemed like we were adding it, and it really didn't have a good fit here for us. Again, we did study a flat roof, and the flat roof was just too much. We felt that, we took your constructive criticism to heart, and you wanted a simpler elevation along Scranton, and we thought this just maintains the simplicity instead of trying to create a flat portion there. Part of the problem with the flat was when you put a flat roof on that, it causes a vertical face of about 3 feet, and it just looked awkward and out of place. But other than that, you're looking at exactly what you saw last time. Next slide. Again, exact same thing. We picked up a couple drafting errors. We did change the back dormer, which would be the north dormer, to wood shingles instead of plaster. So that is a little different. You can see that kind of on the right side above the garage door. But other than that, it's pretty much identical. Next slide. West elevation, I think this is exactly identical other than cleaning up a drafting error on the front dormer and adding the shakes on the back dormer. And again, I'm just going fast. We can come back and talk about these, but I just want to get through everything for you. Next slide. The rear elevation, which is the one that faces the neighbors to the north, and I don't think there's any mystery that they're not jumping up and down about the project. They're opposed to it, or you can see that from emails. But this is what that elevation looks like. Very residential-ish. I mean, obviously, I haven't talked about the whole concept of the appearance is intentionally transitional, which is what the comprehensive plan in the village has wanted. This is intended to look like a big house. And, I think by most objective measures, it does. It's certainly more transitional than the Altoona and Whitmer building as an example, but this would be the north elevation. And you can see on the right side, you can see the profile of the Whitmer Altoonean building. That's a little stark. It's a vertical wall, 11 feet from the wall, 30 foot, 5 inches tall. So as you'll see, and I'll talk about, this north elevation complies with the residential daylight plane requirement. It does not have to in a PMD, but we thought that was very important. The setback's bigger than it needs to be on the north side. Obviously, the daylight plane for the Whitmer Altoonean building, it's not required, but they didn't even make an attempt at that. So, next slide. All right, what are the exterior materials? So I carried in some materials. If you want to see some of them firsthand, I'm happy to show you. But for purposes of just making sure because we didn't annotate the elevations. We didn't put materials on the elevations. So I summarized those for tonight's purposes. So we have a fair amount of stucco plaster. Mike asked me if we're using EFS. We are not using EFS. We're using, good old-fashioned plaster. It's got a beige color, similar to what you've seen in the elevations. We have limestone. We have articulated limestone, which has kind of a rock face, and then we have smooth limestone for sills and some top of balcony caps and so forth. We have real wood shingles that are going to go on dormers, not panels, but real wood shingles. I have a copy of that. We have painted wood trim and brackets, very residential. We have painted wood raised panel posts. You've seen those in the renderings. Clad simulated divided windows, just what you'd expect, I think. Architectural grade fiberglass shingles. I've got a couple choices here. We would love to use wood shakes. We can't afford wood shakes, number one. And two is we have some lower pitched roofs on the building that are inappropriate for wood shingles. So we've got some choices there that I'll show you. Pre-finished gutters and downspouts, painted wood entry doors, painted wood garage door, and dark sky coach lights, which we'll talk about. So I can show you some of the, what I will do, this is, save this page. This is the limestone we have in mind, and this is the pavers. The pavers are gonna be walks, and put that in the page so you don't lose that. So the pavers that you're looking at there would be in the driveway up until the sidewalk, and then the driveway from the sidewalk to the street would be cast-in-place concrete. We have walks that we would use the same pavers. These are a pretty good-looking concrete pavers. They are concrete, and as a sample, this is just an example. This color would be mixed in with, I think, a kind of a reddish one that we had in mind, but I think that's a good choice and very durable. This would be the limestone, albeit it wouldn't be this color. This is too white. So what I'm passing around there, it would be white with kind of golden or wheat kind of veining in it. We are trying to get as close to the rendering as we can. The rendering is pretty accurate related to the appearance of the limestone. But this, from a texture standpoint, would be what we have in mind. And don't laugh, these are wood shingles, of course, and that's what we have on the dormers. These are not gonna go on the roof, but these are, real wood shingles, grade 1 perfection shingles. These go in one by one just on the dormers. Okay. We have three choices. Hopefully I'll speak loud enough so the mic is picking it up. So this is very likely the shingles that we're looking at. This is a heavily articulated fiberglass shingle, so it simulates wood as much as possible without spending the money for the wood. Okay, so this is kind of what we have in mind. As a reference, this is your standard architectural grade shingle. You can see the difference here about how thick these are and creating a shadow line. So this is what we're planning to do. If a miracle happens and we have enough money, we would use a artificial wood shake, something similar to this. I show it only because we would like to do this. These are expensive, and so I only show it to you as a reference, but I think the choice we think we're going to go would look pretty good. No question about it, there's a lot of roof exposed here. So the roof is important, no doubt about it. So we're going to take particular care in the shingle we select there. Before we get off that, any questions about materials, and then we can maybe move on to some other stuff?
Did you show us anything on the stucco? I didn't see.
I did not. I mean, it's pretty standard stucco. It's going to look exactly like the rendering. It's going to, you know, have very slight stipples to it.
Okay.
But no texturing whatsoever.
And the color for that, do you have the exact color?
Yeah, the beige.
A beige?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we've got some fine tuning to do related to colors, but the renderings depict what we have in mind pretty accurately.
Are the windows going to have mutton bars on both sides of the glass?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Okay, next slide, I guess. So this would be the lower level plan. This has 8 parking spaces. It's got 4 vestibules that feed up into each unit with a stair and a small elevator. No different than what you saw last time. And it's got a ramp over in the northeast corner. That entire ramp going down is concealed behind the garage door. Next slide, please. This would be the first floor plan. You know, you have to have pretty good eyes to see the details here. And again, what's happening on the inside of the building is not necessarily something we're here to talk about. But each has 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, a big great room. And you can see the ramp in the northeast corner again. One of the good aspects of the design, I think, is the entire driveway outside the garage door has a slight pitch away from the house. And it's far enough back where a car can stop before it hits the sidewalk. Now, again, there are only 4 units. There's 8 parking spaces. Traffic is not really a big deal. And in fact, you know, we all suspect because of the value of these that, you know, oftentimes the owners aren't even going to be in town. But nevertheless, the driveway is going to look very normal here because it's going to pitch away from the building slightly down to the street, so you don't see that ugly ramp going down that you see in some houses and around town. Next slide.
I had a quick question. Sure. We probably covered this way back, but what's the system for the garbage? And where is it?
Well, if you go back to the lower level, hopefully there's a few slides in between. Right there. So if you can see, here, I'll take this. Is this working? Yeah. So up at the top, we've got kind of a bump out at the back. That bump out is below grade. We have garbage there. So whether they're kind of mid-sized garbage units or residential size, there will be within the HOA some sort of maintenance person that's going to roll those out to the street.
That was my question. Okay.
Once a week, whatever. We were adamant about not creating a garbage kind of screen wall outside. Okay. That would be very unresidential-ish and inappropriate for this. So this is just the good old-fashioned way. Somebody's going to roll it up the ramp and put it outside and then bring it back at the end of the day.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, this is the second floor, so it's subdivided, 1 unit on the east, 1 unit on the west, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, same concept. You can see here at the front a kind of U-shaped stair and a lift. That's the same stair and lift that goes all the way to the basement and then goes up, next slide, up to a very small roof deck. So there's a small roof deck up top and a very small kind of denish related room up there, powder room up there that would have room for maybe a couple chairs and TV. But the fireplaces are intentionally stacked. You know, I don't think there's any surprise there. So all 3 fireplaces on each side are stacked. So each unit has a fireplace on the first floor, second floor, and then there's a fireplace up on the roof deck as well. Next slide. And this is the roof plan, of course. This is all identical to what you last saw. Next slide, please. So here, this section, again, is identical. You can see I created a couple center lines. The center line to the left is literally the center line of the elevator. That is intentionally centered under the front ridge so that you can kind of conceal the overrun. You can see because of the geometry of the pitch, that, there's about 3 feet of height just because of the ridge over the elevator. One of the things that's been discussed and requires a variance, once you go to a PMD, it limits the height to 30 feet, and we are at 34 feet on the front ridge, 31 feet on the back ridge, on the back meaning the north side. Next slide. This would be a section looking north, the other direction, again, identical to what you last saw. And again, there was some commentary about the HVAC units, the condensing units in the above the ramp there. I did do a little due diligence related to the engineering aspect of that. We are going to have to introduce air coming in and out because of those condensing units. We have to carefully manage noise. I did look into geothermal, and I learned an awful lot about geothermal. Geothermal is about twice as expensive as conventional HVAC. The only way you can afford to do geothermal these days is because of government subsidies. As you might imagine, government subsidies are not exactly reliable at this moment in time. Government subsidies related to residential geothermal, I was told, have been eliminated. Geothermal relative to commercial properties is still available, or at least it was a week ago. So that is something we could consider. There is enough ground area on the property to use geothermal, so that's a TBD, but that would eliminate those condensing units if that became the right direction. Next slide. So this is the exact same landscape plan. And we'll dig into some of the existing trees we're preserving. The only thing we did not, and I regret not doing this, there are benches still shown along Scranton Avenue in the front. Those benches have been eliminated. We just didn't update the landscape plan. Next. So this is the tree survey and tree preservation plan. If you want to talk about this in any detail, I'm happy to do so. There was a lot of discussion at the PCZBA about this. We have a couple trees that are within 14, 15 feet of the building, and we're going to take some special measures to protect those. The trees here with the X's on it are being eliminated. The trees that have the big circles we are protecting, and that was all ushered through with Jeff Hansen, and there's still probably field considerations once we get into this, but we are planning to do everything in our possible to preserve these trees. There's 2 in the parkway, there's 4 oaks that are on our property, and then there's a bunch of evergreens on the north side that you're well aware of that we're going to save. And then there's 1 additional tree right behind Nysted's garage. It's a deciduous tree. It needs some maintenance, but it provides great screening as well. So one thing I would like to say, apparently at the last meeting, I may have been a little cavalier in my comments about how the trees were being preserved, and I was called out on that by one of the northern neighbors. For the public record, I want to make certain that everybody knows that we are serious about preserving the trees. We had an arborist who showed up at the PCZBA meeting, stood up and talked for 15 minutes, talked about all of the things we plan to do. So we are very serious about this. Now, having said that, we know that these oaks are temperamental. We are going to do everything humanly possible, and we are treating it very seriously. Next slide. This is the drainage along the north property line. And again, I'm certainly not going to dwell on this, but I want to point out, we went back and forth a little with Jeff Hansen. And what I want to point out, so of course we have all the downspouts draining into the underground storage system. We have a pipe running along the west property line, but we are actually capturing more water on our site going into the pipe so there's more water draining on the northern neighbors now than there will be as a result of this project. Why is that? Because we're reshaping the contours a little, and we're capturing all of the water on the building in downspouts that go in underground pipe to the underground storage. We can't do anything more at the northeast corner because we want to save all those evergreens. We can't change the grade at any of the existing trees to remain. If we change the grade, of course, they're going to die. So we have to preserve that grade, and we have done so. Next slide. Photometric, exactly what you saw before. As I said last time, you know, this is an unusual photometric for me. I'm used to doing photometrics on parking lots. This is a photometric of coach lights. And the amount of foot candle at the property line is 0. The amount of, property line on the north and the west, there's a little light at the sidewalk. But flip to the next slide, if you would, please. So this is the fixture we have in mind. It may not be exactly like this. This is a dark sky fixture, same one we talked about. This is, I think, 6 watts, but it does not push out much light at all. The good news is there's no light that shines up, and the light source is 100% concealed. So I think whether we use this exact fixture or one that has those same features, we're committed to doing that. Next slide, please. So I don't want to dwell on this. This is really a comparison of the Altunian Whitmer building to our building. It really relates more to the PCZBA and the village board if you want to go through this. The conclusion here is there's been commentary that we're not part of the CBD, we're not doing all the right things, blah, blah, blah. In our mind, especially since this project has been vetted for over a year, this is just a comparison that shows our building is pretty big, but it's certainly smaller than Altunian's, certainly shorter. I mean, and the most interesting thing here is, and not necessarily critical to this board, if the single-family zoning allows 34 feet tall and 3 stories. The Altunian building, because it was in the CBD, could only be 30 feet and 2 stories. So there's a bunch of people saying no 3-on-3 or whatever that is. Well, in fact, I didn't hear any of them out complaining about the Altunian building. The Altunian building required a variance to go 3 stories and over 30 feet. We are doing the same, but the interesting thing is our underlying zoning allows us to do it right now. So it's just kind of a weird coincidence. And then, we've compared all the other stuff. All across the board, I think we're way, way less overbearing than Altunians. And, hopefully that'll bear out in future approvals. Next slide. So this again is the impact. I'm not going to really go through this. I just want to touch. Comprehensive plan we talked about. We are agreeing to bury the power lines as the public improvements along the north and the Evanston side of our property. I think we're going way beyond the minimum for tree preservation. We're preserving about 15 or 16 trees on our property. Obviously, Altunian preserved 0. Village neighborhood community support. The neighbors to the south and to the east are supportive. I think overall the community is generally supportive as well. But, the Murawskis, the Reeses, the Kluchkas, and Lemieux have all written emails and are going to show up to the village board meeting in support as well. So I feel pretty good about that. And we just talked about factual clarifications. So I think, and go to the next slide if you would. So we can go quickly. I'll go to the next one. I just want to show. So these are the old kind of exhibits that are no longer part of the comprehensive plan. And go one more, Mike. I'll go quick. So again, this now that shows multifamily on this property in the comprehensive plan. Next slide, please. Okay, and central business district. Lo and behold, the comprehensive plan shows the central business district going all the way to Evanston. Some people in town don't think that this particular full block 3 should be considered part of the central business district. Clearly, the comprehensive plan does. Next slide. Block 3, just clarifying that our property is part of Block 3. Next slide. And this is the slide that maybe is the most compelling. If you look at the Block 3, it shows Eltunian's building and our building. So obviously, the drafters of the comprehensive plan, the village board, and the PCCBA thought that what we were proposing was not so bad. Next slide, please. I won't go through all this. This is more PCZBA. Flip to the next slide. So this is a very compelling slide too, and I'm sorry to torture you with all this, but this is a cross section. Of course, I drew by hand, looking west through our building and showing Jean's house to the White House to the north. You can see has been commentary that, you know, our building is going to be overbearing. They're going to be looking out our windows into their windows. Well, I got on a ladder a couple months ago and about 12 feet up and took photographs of what the view would be out our window, looking at Jean and Nysted's house, and that would be the view. You can't see Jean's house, and you can just barely see the top of Lee Nysted's garage. All of those evergreens are going to provide screening. Of course, they're coniferous and they're green all year long. The other thing that's kind of compelling here is the 34-foot ridge is a long way from the north property. In fact, it's oriented to Scranton, which is where it should be if there's a high part. And the purple here represents the amount of roof area that's over 30 feet. Very small. Okay. And again, the little diagram on the lower left shows the square footage of the area that's over 30 feet. I think it's about 820 square feet. So, next slide. This is just kind of a rudimentary drawing of all the trees that we are saving. I think there's quite a few. Some of them require extraordinary measures, root pruning, special protection, so forth, of which we plan to do. Next slide. Supporting communication, these are emails that came in our support. No reason to talk about that. And I think there's one more. And that's the end of my presentation.
Let's see, we have the fence too.
Oh, you got a fence?
Yeah.
Okay, there's the fence. So as you recall, maybe not, we asked for a variance for an 8-foot fence along the north property line. That was a request of Lee Nysted's, even though he's opposing our project now. There was a day when he was complimentary about our project. So that is the style of fence that Eltunian is planning to use. We would mirror that same style, and we would, along the north property line, put that in at 8 feet. Okay, happy to answer questions.
Thank you very much. Let's go through the board with comments, and then we'll ask for any comments from the public, if there are any. Scott, your comments?
I have no questions.
Matt?
Thank you for the revisions you have done so far. The one thing on the front elevation, can you go to that, the south?
Sure.
When you say front, that would be Scranton.
Yeah, the south
Yeah,
elevation.
because truthfully, and I should have said this,
Yeah.
Evanston is
I
an
know.
important
And
one
it-
too. Some people might think that's a front, but Scranton.
I look at your house as that being, but
Yeah,
you
I
have
think
it
that's the
labeled-
front too, but
You have it labeled as front here, so I'm just going with that. The two, your second floor, the two outside are actually protruding from that elevation. So there should be some verticals, right, between the clear story windows.
yeah, there is a
division.
vertical line missing because the roof goes farther back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondering and that's all stucco, is that correct? That
The
material?
wall is stucco, yes.
It's a very thin, did you give any thought to maybe bringing up, just on those two protruding, giving that more of a sight, kind of your more panel look, instead of a thin?
Well, there's not a lot of wall space left. We could potentially put 3 windows in instead of 4 to do that. And in the interest of simplicity, frankly, I erred against trying to
And I don't mean
embellish
to,
that.
and I don't like, I go in front of the Lake Forest Board and I don't want them designing, I know I've had this conversation with you, but these are just my,
Yeah, I'm not,
yeah, it's all, right.
good criticism is good.
Yeah, but I just
Yeah.
feel that a thin stucco return feels very, I'm gonna say weak on this elevation. It's a very hefty elevation. I feel like that's a very, when it returns back, it's gonna feel well, not as substantial as the rest of the building. That's just my comment. Take it as,
Yeah, I think the way we would solve that is make the windows a little narrower or eliminate a window. And
yeah,
we'll-
however, yeah, I just
look
feel
at
that
yeah.
the little drywall return or stucco return is, and then on that elevation and the other ones, the roof kind of hits the top of the window. Is that correct? Like the bottom of the fascia, does that kind of line, it's kind of right on top of the,
So where are you?
so if you're looking at the fascia of that same kind of
Yes.
dormer condition, that's right at the top of the window, correct? There's no, when you're just looking straight on, or do
No.
we have a little bit of space there?
I am, sorry, no, shame on me, because I should have known this. What you're describing that I said yes is actually not correct. We are creating a little window well on those two outside sets of 4 windows.
Like a reverse dormer, kind of a reverse
Yeah, where
dormer?
the roof kind of cuts in.
Yeah.
So that wall is flat all the way across, and those 4 windows have a cutout in the roof.
Okay,
And I'm not sure if the section would have been taken, it probably wasn't taken through there, so you wouldn't see that.
Yeah.
But that wall is straight across, and that's why that fascia is straight across too, related to the standard head height of the
okay.
window.
So then the plan shows those being bays, that's straight across now?
It is straight across.
Okay.
Probably we didn't pick that
That's
up on
fine,
the
no,
plan.
it's fine, just trying to,
Yeah, no,
catch it
I
all
had
in my head.
forgotten that's the way we treated that.
all good. Okay, so that's a reverse dormer below those 4?
Yes.
And it's single plane wall across?
Yep.
Okay, that takes care of that issue. Yeah, and I think everything else that you've done, per other people's comments, per your refinement, looks good. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Good comment. Susan?
So I wasn't here at the last meeting, but I just think that you've really just simplified it and just been so thoughtful and careful, and I know this has really been a long process, but I feel like it's been very successful in my mind. I really think it looks really good. I think it is a good transition. I don't know, I would, of course, love if you had enough money to do the real shake, because I think the roof is definitely a highlight of the building. But I know sometimes budgets don't allow, but I really think that would be really gorgeous because the roof is so prominent. But that's just, I know there's budgets, but I think it
Yeah,
looks really nice.
and, you know, truthfully, some of those decisions are yet to be made. I mean, we do have 3 very interested buyers. You know, they are waiting for approvals to get done because, for all the obvious reasons, and these are expensive units, not as expensive as Whitmer Eltunians. Maybe collectively, the group would decide to spend more money to do that, But at this point, based on budgets, we're trying to do what I said.
Yeah.
So, sorry to interrupt, but I just need to tell our audio guy in the back room, Bill, I'm hearing from people on the Zoom that they're not getting the audio. So, Bill, if you could make sure the audio gets to the Zoom, thanks. Okay, sorry about that, go ahead.
Is that it, Susan?
Yep.
Thank you. I don't have any additional comments. I do have one question for you. When, if the village board approves it on Monday, when do you expect you to actually break ground?
Well, we still have drawings to do, obviously permit drawings, so March or April.
March or April, okay. Glad you're not trying to pour footings in the middle of January.
No, and, I have to share this. So the neighbors, of course, I reach out to them every time I'm in front of the board just to make sure, they're still in support, and I want to keep them fully informed, and they say, well, Tom, I just got one thing. can you just not start at 6 a.m. with the beeping trucks, and can you not park in front of my driveway and so forth? So, it is what it is, but we'll, of course, try to do the best we can for everybody on the corner.
Are there any comments from anybody in the audience or on the internet? If not, I'd like to ask for a motion regarding this project.
Is there no other comments?
No other comments?
Yeah, no one online who wants to comment.
Okay. Are we simply approving, or are we referring what's our step this time? We're recommending.
Recommending to the village board.
I move that we recommend the presentation of the multifamily building at 57 Evanston Avenue as presented to our board on October 2nd, 2025.
October 7th.
Oh,
Is there a second?
Second.
Do you want a roll call vote?
Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, Member Wicks,
Aye.
Member Kerouac,
aye.
Member Stradiff,
Aye.
and Chair Dolman.
Aye. Motion
Okay.
passes unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Are we,
So I think both of our sign people are here, so we can go back to the
Both of
top
them
of
are
the agenda. Yeah, one is on
I was just
Zoom,
reading up here.
and one's here in person. Um,
36, no.
So let's see here.
and which one is this?
Well, we've lost the guy off of Zoom, apparently.
That's so long.
Oh, no, I thought he was one of our sign people.
We were assigned people?
Oh, I should give this back to you.
I thought I had my phone turned off. I assumed.
Stupid thing.
Well, he was having audio problems, and he seems to have left the Zoom. So I don't see him here anymore.
The sign guy?
Yeah, right.
Who's Seth?
Well, in that case, let's move on to the fire sprinkler exemption request from the village
Okay.
for the building at 611 Walnut Avenue.
Okay, great. I'll be happy to introduce that item. So the village bought the building at 611 Walnut Avenue in 2005. The history of it is it was originally built as a coach house for 33 East North Avenue, and then was used as a single-family home for a lot of decades of the late 20th century, and then the village bought it and converted it to storage. The lower level was always unfinished. You just see the backside of the concrete block. The exterior walls are concrete block. The upper level used to be finished. I think there was probably a leaky roof back in the day, and the drywall and insulation was all removed. So you just have bare studs, and then see the backside of the concrete block on the upstairs too. So it's used for storage, for, nonprofits that have events out in the village green, mostly on the second floor, in our Public Works Department with some sidewalk snowplow and things they use downtown on the lower level. And so it's about, I think around 650 square feet each level, small amount of ordinary hazard storage. And so the village is proposing to do the same types of precautions or fire safety equipment as other applicants have, like the Park District and one of their pole barns, and that will add a complete fire alarm system with heat detectors downstairs and pull stations and all that, and will also meet all the other recommendations from fire safety consultants as far as fire extinguishers and all that. And we do have Seth Summer on the line here, so we could turn it over to him and see if he wants to add anything. Seth, what?
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Yeah, thanks, Mike, for the introduction and yeah, presenting the property. Did everybody get a chance to at least glance at the report that we produced?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, that's what I like to hear. Okay, so thank you. So yeah, I mean, so basically this is an old house that's been, converted into a storage facility for the village. And I included some photos from the inside, and it's just random stuff from different events that will be held out there. So basically, just cutting to the chase, we recommended the full fire alarm system. We did include something, and I don't know if it's worth talking about, having an actual door from the lower level. Right now, there's just an overhead door that I think it's on an automatic opener, Mike, is that correct?
I think it's just manual.
Okay, it's just manual.
Yeah.
So typically places that are occupiable will have swinging doors. But for such a small occupant load and the users are going to, once they enter the space, they're typically leaving the door open. So, if a door is not recommended to be put in, which I don't know where or how you would add one, to be honest, then having a sign that said no occupancy with door closed or something like that, just to make sure that people don't shut the door behind them, or it's very easy to open from the inside. We didn't test that out when we went there to see how easy that is from the inside. But Mike, maybe you can speak more to that. So yeah, and then just keeping the place aisles clear throughout the space, not storing any hazardous materials, anything like that. And just maybe having like a checklist, like that somebody has maintained the facility every, month or every time they go in, just saying that they've looked to make sure everything's in order. And then obviously providing fire extinguishers. Last item was the electrical wiring. I included a photo of some cable from the ceiling, which at some point was probably, resting on top of the lath and plaster ceiling that was in there. So just supporting those electrical cables so nothing comes loose or gets tangled up if somebody is moving some items, it doesn't snag the electrical wiring. So that's basically it. And if you guys got any questions, let me know.
Susan?
So on the lower level, is the only way to get out through that, is what we're saying, the only way to get out is through that garage door?
Yeah, through the overhead door, that's right, yeah. And it's just manual lift with a handle. But, generally, it's only used by our public works personnel who are familiar with the building, so you don't have.
What about the
public in
windows that are
and
down
they'll
there?
leave it open.
Yeah.
There are several windows down there. Are they operable? I mean, that could be an escape if somebody needs it.
Yeah, I think they were originally designed as operable. I'm not sure how easily operable they are today, but, yeah, that's true.
I would think the one there is one right beside the garage door. And there are two in the back, apparently. Any further questions? Comments, Seth?
No, yeah, I feel like the lower level having the overhead door only, again, just given that the occupants are just the public works employees, is probably okay. Again, I don't, like, the rest of the building is below grade, so to add a door, you'd have to, dig down build a foundation wall, build some stairs, add a door to the exterior of the building, like you're talking a pretty substantial project. So that's the only item I felt like that, was worth mentioning to consider. But again, ultimately, we feel pretty comfortable with it as is. Maybe some signage, to make it clear how to open the door or that it should stay open until you leave, that type of thing.
Matt?
What is the duration that someone's in this building? Just like 5 minutes, or there's
Yeah,
nothing? No one's.
typically, especially for public works, maybe a little bit longer for people getting stuff out of the second floor.
But it's just a
but very short
transactional
time. Yeah,
time,
right.
right? Okay,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. This seems.
And the garage door is locked whenever no one's in there, right, obviously?
Right,
Like, no
it's-
one can get in there I guess my only thinking is, can someone get in there and get stuck in there if there's a fire? Like,
No.
some kids or teenagers or whatever, like, it's pretty secure.
Yeah,
I'm saying.
there's a padlock on it the padlock's taken off to open the door to get in. So
Yeah.
when people are out, the padlock's put on the outside. Yep.
Scott? Any comments?
I would be in support of the exemption in its current state. If there were a change of use in the future, would,
Right, this exemption would not apply if it's a change of use.
okay,
They
so if
have
it
to
became office
sprinkler.
space or something, they would have to,
Yeah, they'd have to
Sprinkler.
either sprinkler it or come back and make the case for an exemption for the new use.
okay.
Yeah.
I guess, I agree. I'm in favor of a robust alarm system, but not the need for sprinklers. I would like to verify that at least that window that's right beside the garage door is operable in case somebody does get stuck inside, that there would be an alternative way for them to get out. I know if my garage door ever doesn't work, I can't open it.
Yeah.
It's really heavy.
I don't know about this one, I've never tried, so. Well, we seem to be generally in favor of the exemption, so can we have a motion to that effect?
Well, do we want to, in the motion, I know you suggested the window, do we know what the effort would be to make that? It doesn't look like it's low enough to be, it needs to be less than 44 inches, from the floor. It looks like it's probably above 44 inches, right?
Yeah, but I think Neil's suggestion was only to make it operable, not to make it meet the escape window. That's
Yeah.
a residential escape window
Yeah.
requirement, it's not.
Yeah, and I just don't know,
So
like,
there's
what the
another
reality of
requirement to
someone,
be 44 inches.
yeah. So in order to make that egress, we'd replace the window with some kind of, I don't even know what kind of window it is now. Is
Yeah,
it
it's-
just like a French casement, or is it a?
I don't remember the south side because the lower level might be different than the upstairs.
Yeah.
It's not the same as the others. It's on the south side. It's actually been painted over by the mural here.
So what's this? Is that not a window also? I thought that was the window he was talking about.
I guess you're right. I guess that is a window there. Yep,
Looks like there's
that is a window
two
there.
windows back here,
But I don't remember what type.
wherever that
Yeah.
is. This one also shows two windows back here.
That's on the second floor.
Oh, that's the
there
second
with the
floor.
light.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
okay.
inside of the second floor. But yeah, we could make the window operable. on
Yeah,
the
I think
front.
that's
It
a-
wouldn't be
Yeah.
that hard.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be great?
So the motion would be to approve the exemption with the condition of making that one window operable.
Can I second that, or that's not official?
No, you got to make the
Yeah, I
motion
know.
first.
Yeah. I moved to,
Real quick, do you
Yeah.
need to add in the other conditions on the report, or Mike, are you saying those are already included?
Yeah, you could include that in the motion to comply with the conditions of the FSCI's report. with
Yeah.
The recommendations.
The
in
FSCI's, yeah.
report.
okay, I move to approve the attached resolution granting the fire sprinkler exemption request with the following conditions: that it follows the FSCI's report, and that we make at least one of the existing lower level garage windows operable and usable as somewhat of an escape window.
Okay.
Second?
A second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Well, we should do it by a roll call vote. So We'll do a roll call.
I didn't think it needed a roll call, but go
Yeah,
ahead.
it's kind of obvious, but anyway. Member Stradiff,
Aye.
Member Dahlman,
Aye.
Member Kerouac,
Aye.
and Member Wicks.
Hi.
Okay, motion passes.
Then the fire exemption request that we've already approved for 355
Washington.
West
Right, for the
Washington.
Park District. Yep, we brought a resolution back consistent with your approval last time.
Is it West Washington?
It is.
It
West.
is, okay.
Yep.
Seems like it's pretty far east.
Yeah,
This is
right,
west, this is west.
Right.
This is just a matter of approving the document that's been prepared to finalize it.
Right.
So is there any comments on this at all?
I had no comments.
Scott, any comments?
My only question was, is there anything flammable being stored in any of these barn-type things? Do we know?
Well, not,
I mean, like flammable, you know?
not unusually flammable. So they are, they did relocate their chemicals from the building that still is named the chemical building. And apparently they haven't renamed it, but they've moved the chemicals out to move them into a pole barn that's already sprinklered. So they moved their most flammable stuff out. You know, the other pole barn has golf carts, so it's battery operated. So I mean that is somewhat flammable, but it's still only
not
Yeah.
golf carts. Yeah, right.
Okay.
It's not gas storage or anything
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, they state that there are no hazards located in and around
Very
that.
good.
Hopefully that's part of it.
So can we have a motion to approve the exemption request for the Park District?
I move that we approve the exemption request from the Park District,
Yep. Approve the resolution.
the resolution. Thank you.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? You're going to
I'll
want
do
a
the
roll call,
call.
aren't you?
Yeah, I'll do the roll call. Member Wicks.
Aye.
Member Kerouac.
Aye.
Member Dahlman.
Aye.
And Member Stradiff.
Aye.
Okay, all aye, it passes. Well, thanks a lot, Seth, for all your help on both of those.
I guess neither of the people for item,
So, yeah, one of the sign permit people had been on the Zoom, and he was having audio problems and couldn't hear anything and dropped off. That was for the toy box signs.
Oh.
So I don't know if anyone needed him for questions, or if we can,
Yeah, I mean, none of them have any exemptions, right? They're both
right, they all.
in
meet
compliance.
code. Yep.
My only question on the toy box one was, is he gonna keep okay, I think it's lit, right? That's from what I can tell.
Yeah,
the
it's
toy
right, the box is internally lit.
Yeah, okay.
So the graphics light up.
And so, do you think, is he gonna think, if you look at this picture here, I was gonna ask him if he's gonna keep these spotlights there as well. I was just curious, because I don't think those look really, they don't look great. Like, I was thinking, are they gonna eliminate those, or can they incorporate some, like, maybe a planting bed or something around that? I don't know. That's just my question. I mean, it doesn't mean I wouldn't say, let's go with it, but I just was wondering.
Right, that is a good question.
But they can't use those anyways, right? I mean, that's
Well,
can you,
I mean, we could make it a condition of the sign approval that they eliminate those
Yeah.
lights, and then if they wanted to keep them, they could come back to the next meeting and make the case for keeping them.
yeah.
You know,
that's a good catch. I hadn't noticed
yeah,
that.
right.
It was just
Yeah,
kinda,
thank you.
Yeah, you know.
Question I had on this is, on the toy box thing, it projects above the top of the concrete base. What does the back of it look like?
I went there to look, and it's pretty close up to all those bushes and things, so I don't think there's a super good view of the back of it
Right.
anyway. So even if it doesn't look great, I don't think it's gonna be a huge eyesore.
Yeah, I was thinking that the way it's drawn, that it's probably just black.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah.
front and the sides are, but it's not clear as to what it would look like, and
I mean, that would be a question, but it's not like that, it's, in the picture, it looks like it's sitting out farther from all those bushes and things, but when you go there, it's actually pretty close up to it, you know? Like, it's hard to see the back of it very well.
And then my question would be, I don't think we can it seems like he's taking the black area, right?
Right,
And then mounting that to the existing concrete.
yeah.
Right.
And then putting the car storage below, but how is that? In his section, I don't know how you're mounting.
Oh, I think that's just a standard section.
I know, but, right, but is that gonna be proud of the, like, is that sitting, flush up against the concrete, or is it gonna stand proud of the concrete?
I think it's standing proud of it.
Like with the right, so it's gonna be floating in front with
It's
some kind of brackets?
Like a 4-inch box attached to the front of the concrete.
It's like a orange
But I
box
think
that's
the
screwed right
back,
onto the concrete.
yeah, I think the
Right.
back of the box
Yeah,
is
it's
up
up
flush.
against the,
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
but then the backside, yeah, so your sign question makes sense about the backside.
yeah. I mean, you don't see it really a lot, but I guess it would be a question is what does it look like?
Yeah, it's a,
Seems like there's enough questions on this that we ought to ask them to come to the next meeting.
I would agree.
and the reality is that it's a kind of it's not on the main road, right? It's just on an internal kind of corridor. Yeah,
It's coming along. They
Yeah.
were here before a while ago. It's getting there.
yeah.
It looks good. I mean,
Yeah, I wasn't here for that one. I think I missed
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So that's why I'm
it's
behind a
really-
little bit.
It's almost, it looks like it's almost done to me.
Yeah. So is his, okay, so the sign, does the sign follow the outline of the car?
I think it does.
It does. yeah.
So it's all kind of like a scissor cut, right? Okay. And then is there, Mike Dino, is there power in that? There must be power in that base already somewhere, right?
I don't think there was previously, so he must be planning to get it in there, drill through it somehow.
Just bring power like through the back little junction box or something?
Probably gonna be conduit running up the back.
Yeah, up the
And that's my
backside.
concern is that sometimes we don't consider all four sides of a
Yeah.
building and,
Yeah. Yeah.
even though it
Again,
partially
this-
is covered by the shrubs right now, shrubs can disappear.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about what the back of this is gonna look like.
Does it make sense just to put that on top of the concrete?
Yeah, I mean, it just,
That's kind of what I
That
was.
was their original design, however, it made it, the area larger than our code allows by putting it on top. So he moved it down to.
So that's gonna
get it
stick
under
out
the
4
area.
inches?
yeah,
Yeah,
we're,
right.
Just being-
you're
Right.
catching up to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I just caught it, I mean,
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
it's I mean, the idea is cool. The I think the
Yeah.
application might be tougher than, like, you're really gonna have just the sign bolted at the bottom. I mean, you could, that's not the best mounting for that kind of sign.
Yeah,
Seems very
yeah.
unstable.
So if you put it on top, it would be too high?
Right, yeah.
Right.
The area would be more than 64 square feet when you go by overall height by width.
Oh, I see. And you have to count this pediment?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go all the way down to the ground, overall height to the ground.
Yeah.
By width.
How much, I'm sorry, I should know the code, but I just don't. How high, so height of sign, how much would he be violating the height requirement? Well,
The height requirement is 20 feet, so he's.
It's just the
well
square
into that.
footage.
It's the square footage, because you measure the square footage from the tallest point
the
down
whole
to the
thing,
ground.
right, yeah, so it's
Yeah,
that
like,
same
times
issue we
width.
always have,
Right, yeah, exactly.
the imaginary box.
Right, so by bringing his sign box down and overlapping the concrete, he
Yeah.
brought the area down to within code.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you
See, I
just
would-
pile dirt up against?
I was just
the-
gonna do the same, that's what I've done, I would have piled dirt up. Trust me, I've cheated codes all different
Got some
ways.
landscaping.
Yeah,
Although I have to say, when I was looking at all the signs in that whole area, there are several of them that are very like layered.
yeah, right,
So it's not totally out of keeping with what's there already. There's a couple of them that are super
yeah.
dimensional.
Yeah, I just think it's gonna be, I mean, because we don't, to everybody's point, we don't see the back of the sign.
Right.
Like, is that another finished panel? Or,
maybe we could ask him to come back and kind of address, what's the back of the sign look like? How's it gonna be powered? You know, is he gonna use, can he, you know, get rid of those spotlights or incorporate them better somehow? Or, you know what I mean? Like, maybe he needs, maybe he can come back.
So let's just not take action on this tonight.
Someone can make a motion to continue it to
Yeah.
November.
I'm not good at motions.
Because
They
you don't
stress me
practice.
out.
I move that we
Continue it.
continue this submittal until the next meeting. Thank you.
Second.
Words.
Okay, do a roll call vote. Member Wicks.
Aye.
Member Fairway.
Aye.
Member Dahlman.
Aye.
And Member Straight.
Aye.
Okay, I think this is the last item of the night. Crucible Fitness.
And there's nobody on the Zoom.
Okay, I went to see
So-
this one too, and I had a few questions about this one as well. My questions were, I took a picture, so he's showing the door and this one window, but there are actually two other windows. And so I was just wondering, what's going on with the whole, I would love to see the whole facade. Do you know what I mean? There's,
Well, this one is here, this one is around the corner.
yeah, but if you look at the building itself, when you go look at it, it looks like this.
Yeah, so I've got a Google Maps view in the packet just before the
Yeah.
drawings. It's a little small, but it shows the whole building.
Okay. Let me see. Is it this?
So it's this page. I could put it up on our
Oh,
screen.
yeah, okay, it is small. Okay, so my question is, you see how, or here's the picture I took. So you see how it's got the door?
Yeah.
And then I think the one he's proposing, that sign, is this one that's currently got the white with the
Little red triangle.
red triangles. And then I guess my question is, on the other two, are they just gonna be open, just like plain?
No, he's proposing the signs closest to the corner. So one sign's on the west wall and one's on the south wall, but they're both close to the same corner.
Yeah, no, I know. I know that's additionally, but I wanted to ask him when he was here, if this one next to the door is proposed as this.
Oh, the window sign,
Yeah, are there, on the other two windows, my question was,
It-
what happens in those windows?
Yeah, it is to the right of the door.
Yeah,
Yep.
and then are the other two windows just gonna be open with nothing?
He's just gonna have some kind of tint, a dark frosted tint. to
Dark
the
frosted?
window. Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
right.
that was my question. That was one question.
Yeah.
And then I guess the only other thing I was gonna ask is, that he align on the corners, on the two white signs that he has, if he makes sure that those are lined up with each other, you know? Like
Right.
the top's aligned. and it's-
Vertically, yeah.
And then the only other thing I had, and this is more just like a graphic design like thing, I would say, I think it would look nicer if he would reduce the graphic in the space of the sign a bit, like 10%, 20%, to give some more, it just looks really huge in that sign to me. You know, I think it would look more, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. Yeah, to have some more negative space kind of around those, it just looks like very big, and
Yeah, like the words are pushing the edge.
words are pushing the edge, and I feel like it looks a little,
Yeah,
I don't know what the word I'm looking for is.
it's not proportional.
Not proportionate, like, I think it would look more higher end, I guess, if he reduced that whole thing to leave a little more white space.
So he's gonna have the two corner signs, right, just so I'm
Yeah.
up on the wall, and then the same, and then on the window, another,
This
so a
one.
third.
Right, yeah,
I mean,
right,
just so I'm getting a full,
Yeah.
right.
that's a lot of,
Signage.
is that all? I lost my thing.
It is.
Because it's a face, right? So we're doing just on each face?
Right, yeah.
Another problem I had with it when I looked at the building is, I'm not so sure I like having all that white up there.
I agree.
It seems like it's gonna look like a big piece of plywood that somebody just stuck on the
Yeah,
building.
I totally agree. I wonder if he could make the background like more of a gray or something to match the door frame, or even the black that he had on the window, maybe reverse it would look more classy. I don't know, it does look very, like a white.
Or the background could be an off beige or something like that.
Yeah, or something
that
more
would-
blending with the building. I don't know, yeah, I agree. I think the white looks very, like a piece of foam core almost.
I wouldn't want them to try to match the brick color because that never works.
No,
No.
yeah.
But they could come up with something
Yeah,
that's between white and
yeah,
Yeah, and not to run his business, but it's interesting that
yeah.
the Crucible Fitness is one type of typology with the logo, and the window is a totally different one,
Yeah.
which is bad marketing, but that might, if you did that window one up there, might help a little bit with the,
Yeah, I
Scale.
think the black and the black and the,
almost just
Yeah,
keep
even-
the same, because it's going to be very busy with two
all
different
this,
kinds of
yeah, I
signages.
kind of agree.
I mean, not that we should, but it just
Or
seems,
even if you did the black with the white, even if it was a different design, at least you'd kind
yeah.
of maybe
But
go.
it's still weird that
I know.
it shouldn't be that way.
what, and maybe I'm missing something, but what is the depth of this? Is it just a piece of plywood?
I think it's a piece of like PVC sheet type stuff.
Yeah, it's a signboard, so it's a very thin depth signboard.
And how do they attach those? Is that like face mounted?
Yeah, typically screw into the mortar. of
Yeah,
the
so there's gonna
building.
be like some kind of washer thing and bolt.
Yeah.
On some of the other signs on the building are really pretty nice.
Yeah.
The building itself is not wonderful, but
Yeah.
so it seems like, I think we're in the same position. I'm not overly in favor of this sign. I do
Yeah.
agree, I like the black with white better than the white with black.
Well, and to Sue's point, it would be nice to see that elevation with that building sign with the window sign. We don't see that
Yeah,
together in
just
any
like
of
the
his
whole
presentation.
facade.
Because I think if you see it all together, you're like, okay, one of these needs to change because
Yeah, but it's very.
it's like a
Exactly.
couple different,
Two different fonts.
two different logos.
Yeah.
So can we have a motion similar to what we just did? Susan, are you making a motion?
She can do
that's
that this time.
Similar to
I'm
the
not
other
good.
one?
They stress me out.
We're continuing it?
Okay. I move that we continue the sign. This thing.
Consideration to the next meeting.
Yeah, of the Crucible Fitness to the next.
Todd seconded it?
Okay.
Okay, do a roll call.
I'll do the roll call vote. Member Stratoff.
Aye.
Member Dahlman.
Aye.
Member Kerouac.
Aye.
And Member Wex. Okay, all in favor. It's
Aye.
continued.
If we could have a motion to adjourn, and then before we leave, I have one more thing to bring up. That's not
I
part of the
move to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, we're adjourned.
Okay.
The thing